So, we're going to make this super easy today. You ready? I want you to first draw a line from the actual equal sign down. Doesn't have to be very far because we don't have very many steps to make. Everybody good so far? Also, reminder, if your calculator is not cleared at the end of today, you will lose your calculator for 2 days. So, all right, what we want to do is we want to isolate the variable. That means the letter. So go ahead and underline your X. You want to get that by itself. So what's happening directly next to the X? We have a plus sign. If you said anything with 8, no, that's not right next to it. I mean directly next to it. So what is the opposite of a plus sign? Now, whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. All right, what is 3 minus 8?
-5.
And I keep my equal sign. Is there any questions? Up to you. Should be fairly simple. A lot of people love to go, okay, what will give me +3? And then they try to guess. Trust me when I tell you the steps are so important. I want you to also do one more thing for me. I want you to check it. That means we're going to put in -5 where we see X. So go ahead and underline -5 plus 8 and tell me, do you get 3? So do -5 plus 8 and tell me, do you get 3? Push one, broken. There you go.
When solving it, why can't you say if you do the -3 is 5 and then add the negative because it's the opposite of addition?
So that's a really good question. So for those of you who did not hear, Cadence asked, why in the world can't we just do 8 minus 3 and then add in the negative after the fact? The problem with that is you forget the negative. You also then try to move the 3 over to the 8, which means you did not get your variable by itself. At this point, it doesn't matter as much if you make a simple mistake like that. However, for us, it will. That's why I'm showing you certain steps. All right, so we're going to draw our line. What's happening right next to your X? What's the opposite? Whatever I do to one side, I do the other. Those cancel out. I'm left with X equals. Now I check it. Does 7 minus 5 equal 2? Yeah, so those work. Y'all good there so far? You're like, okay, fairly simple.
Like for like the 5 plus 5, when 5 plus 5 equals
Do -5 plus 5 in your calculator.
I forgot to get my calculator.
Get your calculator. You'll see why in the world I'm saying that is what it is. All right, well, she's getting her calculator. What's going on right here? It's multiplication. Is there any 4 there? Is there technically a 4 there?
Yes.
Wrong.
It's -4.
Wrong. All right, real quick, make an arrow. You're going to do 4 of these. That is what that means. That does not mean there's any kind of -4 there. That means there is 4 negative X's. 4 is non-existent. That means you are doing X times X times X times X. How many of them is there? 4, and they're all negative. Why am I pointing these things out? Because I've seen this happen over the years that people think, oh, there's -4, I can just add 4. No, there is no -4. There is 4 of those negative x's. All right, so if I'm multiplying, what's the opposite?
Division.
Hence why we use a fraction bar, because fraction bars mean divide. Kate, did you do -5 plus 5? And let me know if you get 10. That's why they cancel each other out. All right, so what is 20 divided by -4?
-5.
It's -5. That's why your calculators are your friends. And that was a really good question. Next time, raise your hand. Okay?
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing? Don't apologize. All right, so yet again, I want to check this. So -4, parentheses, -5. Does that equal a positive 20? Did you all check it? How'd you check it when you don't have a calculator?
I checked it in my phone.
Go check it with a calculator.
Miss Garrett, my calculator's big.
Push 2.
Yup, I did it.
That's probably because you used not a negative.
I'm so smart. Oh, I didn't see that.
Reminder, negatives are right below 3. If you are talking right now, my question to you is why?
Oh, I was pressing minus the whole time.
Please make sure you are using the negative sign. That is the button right below 3. All right, so it says here, we have a fraction bar. That means what?
Division.
Division. So what is the opposite of division?
Multiplication.
Now, the easiest way to do this is to use the reciprocal. So, you're like, reciprocal? Reminder, that's the fraction flipped upside down. Okay, so if I have 1x over 7, I do not want the x.
Wait, 1x?
Yes, if you do not see a number in front of the x, it is always a 1.
Whoa.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by that reciprocal of 7 over 1. Now, anytime you have something like this, technically what you're doing is 7 times 1 divided by 7, right? So wouldn't these 7s cancel out and just make a 1? Try it. 7 times 1 divided by 7. Tell me what you get.
1.
You get 1.
You get 1, right?
Didn't sound right, but yeah.
In fact, every single fraction works that way. You multiply by the top, divide by the bottom. So, I did the same thing over here. I multiply by 7. And every single whole number, if you remember correctly, is always a fraction, just the bottom number is 1. This should all be a review. So then, now, what is -4 times 7?
-20.
All right, so now we're going to put this in our calculator. We can either do this one of two ways. We can either do -28 divided by 7, or do the alpha y equals 2, and then push 1. Or sorry, alpha y equals 1, and then push 2. Ignore me. Sorry, it's been a day. Alpha y equals, and then push 1. And then put in your fraction. Apparently my brain's not wanting to work today. And do you get -4?
Yes, ma'am.
Hence why I say sometimes it's easier just to put it into -28 divided by 7. All right, so that one works. Any questions up to here? All right, you guys are actually going to do the bottom one. And I'm going to combine, I'm going to stamp you when you get done, okay? So I gave y'all an answer. How well did this work for you?
Not well.
I worked well.
So let's look at our steps. We're going to look at this one right here. Okay? What did we do first?
You multiplied it by the or changed the x into.
I multiplied it by the reciprocal. I had nothing to do with x. What is the reciprocal of 2 over 3?
3 over 2.
Yeah, 3 over 2.
3 over 2. Any questions here? I don't get that. Are we good up to this point? Yes, ma'am.
Why did you do 3 over 2?
All right, guys. Why did I do 3 over 2?
Because it's the reciprocal.
But why do I multiply by that particular number? Anybody know?
Because it has to be the same.
Why does it have to be the same?
So we cancel each other out.
So, real quick, in your calculator, alpha y equals, push 1. Put 3 over 2. Now, arrow over, multiply. Alpha y equals 1. Push 2 over 3. Second mode. Right next to it. Also, that's not your assigned calculator. What's your number, Rocio?
22.
You need to have your assigned calculator. Can't just grab a random one. What'd y'all get?
1.
1. That means I want to cancel this out. The only way to do it is to make it a 1. Multiply. And we're going to do 3 over 2. Why do you not have the same thing I do? Times alpha y equals. We're going to do 2 over 3. 1. You need to have the same thing I do, okay? All right, now, I want to make both sides look the same. So what did I just multiply by?
3 over 2.
3 over 2. I already know these canceled each other out. So if I did my little line, now I'm left with x is equal to, what is 12 times 3 over 2? Hey, what do you know? That's how I got 18. Now, questions. Because this is the one step. Yes, Jacade? I need you doing it this way. And I have a reason for it. Because if you're doing it different, it might work this one time, but it may not work every time. All right, checks. This is where people had a little bit of problems. What was our original problem?
2 over 3.
2 over 3, and then I had an x. So instead of an x, I'm going to put a parenthesis. And I'm going to put 18. Put that in your calculator and tell me what you get. And yes, you can use parentheses. Parentheses, remember, are above 8 and 9. 2 over 3.
You did 12.
Parenthesis. And then 18. Enter. Okay, how are we doing? Anybody? I don't get it. Any questions?
I get how you get 12.
So technically what you're doing is you're multiplying 2 times 18, which is 36. 36 divided by 3 is 12. All right, Kate.
That makes sense.
Calculating is you doing like the 12 times 3 over 2. That's 39 over 2.
Yeah, because you're doing 3 over 2, not 2 over 3.
Oh, I did.
And you did 13 instead of 12. So it should have been 12, 2 over 3. So we're going to go back up. We're going to fix it. So push enter. Now arrow over to the 3. Actually, you can push that and change that to 2. Push 2. Now arrow down. Push 3. Arrow over to your left. Keep going. Now push 2. Now push enter. Oh, that's because we did 12 instead of 18. Push an 8. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next page. You have a little bit more room.
This is 2 steps.
That's because this is going to take a little longer. Okay? Now, we're going to go ahead. First step, draw your line. Now, this time, we're still going to find your x, but notice that there is 5 of them. You notice I didn't say there's a 5 in front of it. I said there is 5 of them. That means there is x plus x plus x plus x plus x. And then you're subtracting 8. That 5 does not exist. It is just there to show how many of your x's there is. So, what is happening right next to your variable? Subtraction. What's the opposite? And then whatever I do to one side has to be the exact same. So what is negative 8 plus 8?
0.
0. If you're not sure, check. So now I'm left with 5x is equal to 20. Now what do I do? Divide. Divide by what?
5.
5, because that's the number right next to x. Now, would I do another number besides 5 underneath 20? No, it's got to be the same. Now, I'm going to do the check. So I had the 5. I'm going to do a parenthesis and a 4 minus 8 equals 12. And then check it. Does that actually equal 12? Your calculator smart enough you can put it all in at the same time. I'm hearing a yes. Okay. Now here's my question to you. Can you do the bottom one? The only difference is instead of division, you multiply. And that's it. That's the only difference. So, I'm going to come by and I'm going to stamp you once you got it. I want to see both your answers and your check. Once you got your answer and you got your check, raise your hand. And that means you did something different. What's that? That's a negative, right? So that means what should that be? Yes, that means that should be a plus sign. Don't forget your x over 3. Okay, question. Where do I see x over 3 equals that answer? Remember, I should see x over 3 equals an answer before you start trying to do all sorts of other stuff. Fair enough? Okay, did you put that in your calculator or are you making assumptions? Put it in your calculator and check it. That'll work.
Like if on that part-time.
Because all you're doing is putting this back in. And you should get -4. Okay, all you're doing is putting this answer back in for this. So exact same thing I just did up here. Remember, we should see x over 3, not a something.
Oh, yeah.
And if you get your multiple by 3 over here. This is 1. Yeah, see, you cannot do this step here until you've gotten rid of this. Otherwise, you have to multiply by the 6 and by the 4. Question, where'd the +6 go? What'd you do first?
I got him scared.
Try to do the same stuff up here. You gotta follow your nose. Do the same stuff. And I'll be back. So what does that equal? It's -4 + 6. Put it in calculator.
I checked it.
Don't forget to instead of an X, you need a 6. Question, what did I do first? Versus what are you trying to do first? Follow my steps. That means, did I multiply or divide first, or did I add and subtract first? Add equals 2. You don't need an X. The X is 6. You should get a +6. Or are you trying to get a -6? I don't know why you have a negative. Alright, now, hold on, x divided by 3 equals 2. Does it make sense that x is 2? Where's your step that checks that? Okay, what does that equal? You got a calculator, -4 + 6. I got a few people who are gotten it. There you go, equals 2. Now, I have x divided by 3 equals 2. Well, how do I get that x by itself? What's the opposite? I just said x divided by 3 equals 2. What's the opposite? What do we multiply by? So if I had x divided by 3 and I'm multiplying now, what do I need to multiply by? So 3 divided by 3
Times
is
3.
times 3. Times 3. Over here. On paper. And whatever I do to one side, I do the same thing over here. Okay, now you got your answer, right? Where's your original equation? This instead of this.
Brogan. You want some cheese?
Yeah.
Put 6 where rewrite it. Put 6 because it's always 6
You want another bag?
I want one.
Let's divide by.
That's all I got.
Alright. so as soon as you've gotten a stamp, you can put your stuff away.
Guys, I was the first one to finish.
It worked, right? Now, if you don't have a stamp, you're not putting your stuff away. Alright, so now, we're gonna rewrite this exact thing, but instead of writing X, we're gonna put 6. Now, if I have X divided by 3 equal to 2, how do I get rid of that divided by 3? Multiply by what? By what? Where are you gonna 6? There is no other number besides X divided by 3. This is what X divided by 3 equals. Now, I want to get that X divided by 3. If I want to get rid of the divided by 3, what's the opposite of dividing by 3? 5. There you go. Multiply by 3, multiply by 3. Alright, so we are not piling at the door. We are still staying in our original assigned seats. You have 6 minutes. There is 0 reason for you all to be packed up and piling at my door.
It's 9:12.
Yeah, it's not 12.
I heard her. Okay. Is that match? Minus 6. That match.
How do you know it was 9 and 12?
She's probably got a what?
She's a house wife. When there's use her phone.
There's also a clock. Okay, now you need to check.
I wonder if we
I
should
doubt
do
it.
like this.
You don't need parentheses, they'll run the second one. All right, everybody who is done, your turn.
My turn?
You are going to explain step by step what we do and how to check it.
I think I know how.
Are we paying attention or do I need to stop packing you up 5 minutes early? What do we do first?
Draw a line.
Then what?
Plus 6 on both sides. You have plus 6 on both sides. And then you put X equals 2. And then you multiply by the reciprocal. And then you get X. And on that side you get 6. And then
You gotta check your answer.
you check it, you get X over 3.
All right, question. Why didn't we put X over 3 again? Instead of 6 over 3, why didn't we put an X there?
Because 6
All right, so what is that X?
6.
X is 6 in this case, but it's also a number you don't know, right?
Yeah.
That means a lot of y'all got this right. If you are still confused on 2 steps, come visit me in the morning.